This TikToker just got fired from Target for apparently creating mustard gas at work. Now, mustard gas, or phosphine gas, is a very dangerous, poisonous gas that can cause burns, blisters, and permanent eye damage. It was actually used in World War I for chemical warfare, so you might be shocked to know that this person somehow created it at their Target job.
I was fired. Fired, babes. And you may be asking, why'd you get fired? I got fired because I mixed Fabuloso and bleach. Why the fuck would you do that? Because I didn't know. I'm African. So what I thought was, you know, you can mix anything with anything. Like it doesn't do nothing. Apparently it made mustard gas. And that's why she called me out there. She was like, but I have no idea. I was just trying to clean.
So it turns out she actually mixed Fabuloso and bleach. Now, Fabuloso, if you don't know, is a multi-purpose cleaner for both your floors and your kitchens. And bleach is also a chemical that is used to clean. Now, bleach is actually a mixture of water and chemical sodium hypochlorite. Now, what happens when you mix these fancy cleaning products, which are essentially chemicals, together? So when you mix together Fabuloso and bleach, you actually create chlorine gas. Now, chlorine gas is also toxic and can actually really damage your lungs and eyes. So basically, these two cleaning products should never be mixed together unless you are actually looking to do some serious damage. Now, chlorine gas is not nearly as bad as mustard gas. Mustard gas will absolutely destroy you and produce blisters on your body from head to toe. Chlorine gas, you actually might have a chance.
But she was like, yeah, do you know why I called you in here? I was like, oh, why? She's like, you know the incident regarding February 17th? I was like, oh, where I mixed Fabuloso and bleach. She's like, yeah, so we decided that we're just gonna terminate you because we reached out to our legal team and they said in our best interest it would be best that we terminate any relationship with you.
Okay, so this situation definitely depends entirely on the fact that did she get the appropriate training? So if you have an employee handling such cleaning products, which are essentially chemicals, I think you have to give them the appropriate training and instruct them that, hey, these two chemical products, if you mix them together, you're going to create something really bad, so do not mix them together. I really think that it's ridiculously irresponsible to actually have someone work these products and not be completely educated about them, because it can really result in some damage to themselves and to their coworkers. Now, should she actually have been mixing those two cleaning products together? Probably not, but honestly, how was she supposed to know? Maybe she thought that cleaning would go faster if I mixed these two cleaning products together, and she probably didn't have any training there. Now, should she have been fired? Potentially, because she did create some toxic gas, which was detrimental to the business and to the fellow employees. So in that sense, it's fair to fire her, but it's actually not fair because she didn't get the training to not know to produce the gas. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, where did the mustard gas come from? Well, I'm wondering that too, and I'm trying to figure it out.
And I was like, oh, okay. Can I have, like, the paperwork for that? And she's like, no, I'm not gonna give it to you. I was like, well, can I have it for my own record? No, I'm not gonna give it to you. And she's like, okay, and now I'll walk you out now. And I was like, no, it's fine. I can walk on my own. She's like, no, I'm gonna walk you out per Target policy. And I was like, bitch, I don't work here no more. I'm gonna walk out on my own.
Okay, now I gotta say that is extremely suspicious. Some would even say mega sus. Why would they not actually give you paperwork if they had a legitimate reason to fire you? I feel like that's illegal. I mean, I think it really depends on the US state. Some places have the policy of your employer can fire you for pretty much no reason, and they're allowed to do that. But in some states, you actually need a reason for being let go. Now, in this case, the reason's pretty obvious. It's definitely got to be that mustard gas. But I do actually have a hypothesis here, right? The reason they're not actually giving you paperwork for firing you is because that would bring into question their own training. So when people start asking questions of, okay, so why did she mix those two chemicals together? Was she not given the appropriate training? Then that will reflect bad on the management, right? And they might get into trouble, which is why they're probably not giving you paperwork and they're just kind of hush-hush letting you go. But unfortunately, they made the absolute colossal mistake of letting a TikToker go. Now, anything that happens in a TikToker's life is obviously going up on the internet, so good luck with not getting pressed to your establishment now.
Brandon, Max, Afton, Lily, AP Cam, her dusty ass. She don't even do her job. Everybody be stealing from there.
Okay, so this part was the part that kind of ticked me off over here because I can't really support someone being this petty and calling out your fellow coworkers or employees by name, even if they were horrible people, because you're putting their names out on the internet, so people might actually go and harass them, or maybe just go to them and call them names because you're upset and you're openly kind of like bashing them here. So I don't really condone this because it comes off really petty that you got fired and then you're tattling on your fellow workers saying that, oh, they didn't actually do their work at all. They were like lazy employees, so please fire them as well. Now, I totally get it that the situation is pretty unfair for you, considering you're claiming that you weren't instructed about this whole mixing of chemicals and you were unfairly let go. But you did create chlorine gas, and you might have legitimately impacted the health of other people, accident or not. If you fire the gun in a certain scenario, right, it doesn't really matter why you did it because some damage has been done. Obviously, the reason is very important. For example, self-defense or something like that. But the impact remains, like somebody on the other end is dead. I just think a better attitude might have been to make your TikTok, complain to the internet, but leave their actual names out of it because they might actually, need the job. You said you're tired of the job, you might hate it. They might actually like the job, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're just trying to feed their family or something. So you actually tattling on them is just cringe. I don't like it.
I feel great. I feel liberated. Because that job was genuinely depressing me. Like, it was coming up in my therapy sessions. That's why I know it wasn't good for me. But babes, if your job depresses you, quit before they fire you. Quit.
All right, I just gotta say that this is a very what's the word, girl boss attitude over here. Like, the job was depressing anyways, guys. I didn't leave because I was fired for creating a chemical weapon. I left because I wanted to leave. I totally get it, own the day and stuff, but just don't name your coworkers online publicly and bash them so that they might get fired as well. So at this point, one of two things happened. One, the management purposely called it mustard gas to exaggerate the damage that had been done in the situation and create a legitimate reason for firing her. Or number two, they actually did say chlorine gas, and this person just heard mustard gas because, I don't know, that's a more common thing to hear, and they're just spreading misinformation saying that I got fired for making mustard gas because they are two completely different gases with completely different threat levels. Chlorine gas is like playing Animal Crossing, and mustard gas is like telling a blind person to play Hollow Knight and speedrun the game and get to 100% first time without even knowing where the keyboard is. In fact, you took away the keyboard, you detached it, you threw it out the window. Now, she made a follow-up response regarding some of the comments.
No, let's get into how she walked me up in there. I'm gonna set the mood for you.
Yeah, so did he tell you not to mix the cleaning products and you decided to do it?
He told me after I had already done it.
So he told you still, right? He told you not to mix them and you still did it, right?
Okay, at this point, the only rational conclusion I can come to is that that person is special. Like, what is going on? She literally said she was told after she mixed the products, meaning how would she ever know? Now, judging by just the attitude and the way of her recounting things and the fact that this is a TikToker trying to go viral, I do sense a little bit of fibbing here. Maybe this isn't the entire story, obviously, because on the internet, we obviously only hear one side and we jump to conclusions like several situations in the past. So I do think the staff should also have a say here and, they should come out with their side of the story of like, did you actually tell them to mix the chemicals and stuff?
So you did it. Anyway, yeah, so because you didn't listen to your team lead, we have the right to terminate you.
That was some of the weirdest shit I ever experienced. It was like a lawyer interrogating me on the stand. I was like, what? He told me after I had already done it not to do it.
Okay, I'm really having a hard time believing this because this sounds like one of those stories you kind of just make up because you wanted your friends to think you're cool or something and you wanted a good reason for being fired or something.
To the recruiters in my comments, I don't want you in my comments. I'm not gonna DM you for a job. I don't want a job. I would actually rather live off my unemployment for as long as I possibly can before I have to work. So
is that an American thing that I'd rather live off my unemployment before I have to work? What does that even mean? How do you live off unemployment? That's definitely an American thing, bro. I do not understand this. Also, if there's recruiters in the comment section of your TikTok, go contact them. That's amazing. You can go get a new job, All right, that's the end of that. Go click this video or I will mustard your house.